Welcome back to Barry Charles Harness, we're your one stop shop for everything harness racing. Yes, we're going to talk about the big race at Alexandra Park for the young up and coming superstars, as well as the big trot at Addington, as well as all the big races on Saturday and Friday in Australia. We're going to look at a few of those as well, obviously, with the big race in Albion Park, which Turn It Up was supposed to turn it up, but he definitely did not turn up on Saturday night. So in this episode, we will look at all those races first, and then after that, I will come back and we'll talk about my bets of the week for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to smash the like button if you like this video, and let's get to the racing. First off, we will look at Alexandra Park and see who wins out of these two young guns, Bree Express and Montana DJ. Let's have a look at the up and coming horses here in Auckland. You got Bree Express, Mickey Shan, and in our wider 7 for Montana DJ.
Followed by Claude and Mickey Shan, Bree Express and Montana DJ. The two favourites have been restrained to second last and last respectively as they sweep across the showgrounds turn, and Blazing Louis.
So Blazing Louis has the lead early, but this is where life gets interesting. This is only a mile, folks. And this is when Claude pulls out, Mickey Shan pulls out, and pulled out in wider was Bree Express. And this is where the going gets tough a little bit here. Well, Mickey Shan and Bree Express going hard here. And Montana DJ at the back in the Barry Puddin colours, just relaxing, smoking the pot. So Blazing Louis in the lead. Bree Express has been 3 wide for the best part of about 600 metres. Finally gets there. Mickey Shan in a beautiful position on the one way. And Montana DJ at the back. This is when the action heats up here, as Claude goes 3 wide and Montana DJ on his back. The future stars of the game here. Let's have a look at them turning here. We're looking Montana DJ sprint up out 3 wide. Mickey Shan comes out. But interesting here, gets a little tight. Here, he got in the lead now, Bree Express. And here comes Montana DJ, and through the middle, Mickey Shan. But right here you see Mickey Shan really runs out of room late. Could have won the race, but what a finish. Montana DJ gets it done from Bree. Let's have a look at the start here of the featured trot at Addington. Not many stars racing at the moment, obviously, but we want to show you some of this.
Then came Madeline Stowe from Majestic Jag, who's around horses. There's 2 lengths away to Out of My Way in Clear Air. 6 or 7 lengths away to White Kiwi. Jimmy Carter is a length off him from Spider Moment, and sneaking under that trio is Matuatana. The Fox is the leader out of the straight and leads by 3 lengths on Make My Sun Don. There's 2 lengths away.
So you can see the Fox is over racing
3 or 4 lengths away to Madeline Stowe. Oh, Jimmy Carter's in a gallop. So one of the favoured runners, he's up in the air.
Jimmy Carter's done his chips at the back of the field.
Losing touch with the field, he's out of the race. So they've gone without Jimmy Carter as they go to the back, where the Fox leads the way by 2 lengths. Madeline Stowe runs second in the trail, and a length and a half off her to Bella Button. Madeline Stowe is next. Majestic Jag follows her from Out of My Way. 2 lengths behind him to Matuatana, who made very easy work of his 40 metres. He has Spider Moment and White
So not much has happened. Now this is when the race actually gets something going here. And Out of My Way takes a look at for the lead.
And Out of My Way up on the outside, coming up with designs on the lead here. But the Fox urged along to hold the top. Out of My Way might not be taking no for an answer on the outside, though, as they come to the winning post. A circuit out of My Way drew a neck in front, but the lead is not there as they work their way out of the straight. First quarter 30.8.
So the pressure's obviously going on here. The Fox is not handing up to Out of My Way, which seems silly to me, but Matuatana gets a nice run.
Madeline Stowe next, buried away underneath of
And Bella Button is 3 back on the inside, smoking the pipe, hasn't done anything. In the Mark James colours.
800 metres left to go. It's Out of My Way on the outside, leading it ahead from the Fox the inside.
But you think Out of My Way has done his
Trail
trips
and
there
away
with
from the Pebble
sitting
Beach
park and
passing
going
lane
out
is
hard,
Make My
same with the
Son
Fox in
on
the lead.
Martuatana. He's been the big winner out of all of this. He's won 1/4 and has followed at good speed through the middle part. Bellabasin awaits an out from Waikiki. Madeline Stowe spied the Fox the inside.
Now the Fox has given up the ghosty.
Make My Son on, who's badly held
With
up.
Out of My Way, worked so hard to get there. Surely he's going to run out of gas, and here they come, Martuatana. And look at this, Bella Button with a nice ride from Samantha. He comes right down the outside.
Make My Son on squeezing between horses and Bella Button now coming.
But he's still there, Out of My Way, believe it or not. But Bella Button, who's in quite rich form at the moment, takes the lead. Make My Son who had the trail, comes over from the inside. And Out of My Way, huge run for run fourth. Madeline Stowe flying home late. Well, let's look here at Albion Park.
Shows early speed. Sam is perfection. He's down on the inside. Right behind them, Bombardier, Jujon, Warfare the inside, hit the road.
So we saw Rock Bottom get to the lead.
But he goes roughly there, hit the road, Jack.
Obviously hit the road, Jack Gallop. Doesn't help. So Make Mine Memphis takes the lead. And Can't Find a Better Man is back on the outside after not getting in the early burn. So the only really change here was that the road Jack came around and sat parked. But otherwise there wasn't much pressure into the race here. So you got Make Mine Memphis in the lead, looking home and hosed from here, you would think. Can't Find a Better Man's got to come from way back after Bombardier Junior didn't get him into the race. Miracle Moose looking for a run on the inside. So look at this. Make Mine Memphis goes for home. But look at Can't Find a Better Man. And look out, here's the danger to the big races coming up in Queensland. Can't Find a Better Man, big win. Warfare ran on well. Watch out for him in a softer race. He can win one. But what a win from Can't Find a Better Man. Let's watch this race here and turn it up. About time was quick out. And Big Wheels gets a nice run in behind Turn It Up. And Colt 31 goes back to the inside here. Well, now we see I Cast No Shadow come around to sit park. With Turn It Up still in the lead and Big Wheels on the trail. Colt 31 is full back in the field.
He is doing a mountain of work on the outside of the leader. Big Wheels in third. One by one about time. Governor Jujon, Pete said so. Colt 31 still locked away. Targaryen.
So you got Turn It Up here in the lead.
There goes Black Sedans. Takes off 3 wide.
Going well. But here comes Blacker Dance. At the moment you think Turn It Up's the horse to beat here. I Cast No Shadow, but look at that, 28.8. That was the costly time for Turn It Up. He went too hard there. Colt 31 40 looking for a run. Well, interesting to see who wins this race. Watch this. Bondi Lockdown's way back doing nothing. But look at this. I Cast No Shadow goes up to lead. But here comes Big Wheels. Look at this right down the outside. Kingmaker was huge. I Cast No Shadow was a big run too. But to be honest, I don't see the winner of the big race in here. I think when you look at the runs here, Leap of Faith, Leap of Fame, Tim's a Trooper, Can't Find a Better Man. It's going to be interesting when the big races come along. Let's watch this. As we see out wide here, Orlando and South Coast Arden are flowing out of the gates here. Which I'm expecting a similar one next week. With Spirit of St. Louis on the inside, it's going to make it interesting. The South Coast Arden gets the lead easily. And to be honest, there wasn't much happening in this race for quite a while.
The leader is South Coast Arden. Just wanted to really drop the bit there.
Yeah, he's really getting tapped up here to keep his mind on the job. Braveview Kelly had a beautiful run.
The cages, Jimmy Lock, and they were followed then by Chevron Art as they come to the home corner. He's really earning his driving fee on this favourite, South Coast Arden. He's been at him for about 400 metres. Comes around the corner, still leading 3 metres on Braveview Kelly. And then Outer Orlando, Chevron Art as they flatten him. 28 won the quarter. The leader narrowly here is
South Coast Arden in front.
On the outside, Braveview Kelly's
through the inside off to Orlando with a bit of broken gears trying to get him. And Braveview Kelly still battling on. But South Coast Arden's too good in the end. Just, he doesn't normally win by big, so don't be too worried about that. But I guess Spirit of St. Louis is going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting race coming up. South Coast Arden ready to rock and roll. Let's just watch this one. Mighty Conqueror got the lead. Cordero and Shockwave, they pretty much stayed like got interesting. This is when it all got interesting here, when Shockwave pulled out. So the pace really went on from here on.
Travelled up very smoothly. Shockwave and Mighty Conqueror was put under some pressure there in 29.4. Out of the straight, Mighty Conqueror leads by 2 metres to Shockwave, going up on the outside with style, and they drop off Cordero.
So Cordero's gone here, but now it's a race between Mighty Conqueror and Shockwave. And as they turn for home here, looks like Shockwave's going to run clear. You're thinking Shockwave's going to win by a length here, but Mighty Conqueror doesn't give up. Is he going to come back? He's coming back, but Shockwave just held on. Well, harness racing is certainly heads are turning in the Sunshine State. What is happening there? Turn it up, one of the best in the state. Disappointing. Black's Dance was huge after going 3 wide and still being in there in the finish. But to me, I think everyone is looking. This is going to be interesting to see who actually turns up in the end, because there's still a few dilemmas on if some mares are going to jump into the race, the 3-year-olds. But Leap to Fame looks the horse to beat, for what I've seen. But can we see some bounce back factors with horses racing this week to try and get back into form, like the Better Zippets and the likes are all trying to push for glory. Yeah, no Turn It Up this week, so obviously Turn It Up is getting rested for the big race. Hopefully Turn It Up can bounce back for... But yeah, Leap to Fame looks a chance. Obviously Tim's a trooper. It'll be interesting to see if Can't Find a Better Man goes for the big races as well. Very impressive. So it's going to be a very interesting series. And then there's talk about other horses coming from, like Ladies in Red and types like that. I'm not sure if that's still happening, but this is all things that could happen. Anyway, we're going to get into the tips now here, and we're going to start off on Thursday night at Cambridge Raceway in New Zealand. My best bet, Ruby Ridge. Yes, it has a 30-metre handicap to overcome, but always better up, second up. Ruby Ridge loves the track. It's not a strong field, to be honest, and if she steps, she should be winning. The major players, winner's time, if he gets the lead, it can be a good leader, and Majestic Ruby off the 20-metre handicap look the main dangers. Each way comes in race 7. I think Sharky's Girl was a good tip here. The second row, I mean, it's going to be hard to absolutely say it can win, but it should get off the second line, and if the number one's a bit slow out, he might be able to sneak into the trail behind the favourite, and Denny. Whether that happens is going to be interesting, because Claude has some gate speed as well, and if Claude comes out firing, it could be a battle between those two really, and if that's the case, Sharky's Girl might be able to run over the top. Let's go to Redcliffe on Thursday afternoon. My best bet is pretty tough to pick a best bet in this one, to be honest. There was no standouts for me on who's a certainty to win. Well, there's no certainty in races, but for me, I'm going for race 8, Who Stole My Pigeon. Got the chance here, got the draw that Who Stole My Pigeon loves, is straight to the lead and try and lead them a merry dance. If he gets it soft enough, he might be able to just spread up the lane and win. Gotta Go Milking off the trail will be a chance, and Substitute sitting parked, putting the pressure on, is going to be the other main danger. It's just going to be, it just depends on if Sue Stormer pitching gets an easy lead, then can easily win this race. My each way comes in the first race at Redcliffe, so get on early, folks. There's no chances, no guarantee it's going to win. Normally battles into a place, but has his chance at 23rd start to get a win. But there's probably going to be some question marks whether it can win, because Knight Jujon out of Hoka Punter in the Grant Dixon stable and Delilah's Girl from New Zealand, they normally go good first up from New Zealand. So there's probably the dangers of True Origin getting its first win, but I would love to see True Origin get its first win. Should have his chance to lead early anyway and maybe get a soft trip. And if luck goes its way, could pull off the upset. Let's go to Penrith on Thursday night. This was another one that was a little bit tough. But my best bet here, I'm going for the former New Zealander, Sophie. I think she just draws to lead. Whether she has enough gate speed to hold out Prince of Peace and Barra Riley, that is probably going to be the question mark if she is the best bet. Because they are the two major dangers, and it's going to be a bit of fireworks early. But even if Prince of Peace gets the lead and Sophie's in the trail, I think Sophie can get over the top. My each way comes in race 2 with 50 Shades. Cresco being in very impressive form of late. If she gets the lead, she should take some running down. Obviously, Tiger Tommy will have a say in that, and Mitch will run. If the pace is on early, could be the one flying over the top. Friday night, yes, well, it's Friday afternoon in Australia, Addington. The best bet comes to me in the big race. Yes, the race 6 is a very up-and-coming race. This is the future open-class horses on the way up here. It's Watermelon Sugar, the next superstar. Looking for 4 in a row. He was struggling before, but really hit a real purple patch of form. But he's not going to find it easy. He's not a super gate speed horse. So when you've got Sweet Bell and Life's a Beach from out wide, it's going to be interesting early. And I think the key to the race is the stablemate Casino Action. If he can come out quick enough to hold those other 2 out wide, it gives Watermelon Sugar the chance to hold the lead or sit on the trail. But I think Watermelon Sugar, even if he does get crossed by Life's a Beach, be sitting in the trail and should be a good chance of getting the money. And each way in the race just before, we have to go for the run from Bella Burton last time. She's been in great form. There's not much of a harder race. I think she'll probably get a similar run and be a similar result. Madeline Stowe and Miss Alyssa, this is a horse to watch out for, folks. Best when she's leading, if she can get the lead. Sometimes she doesn't get the lead, but if she steps and gets the lead, she's a big danger of winning at Addington. Yes, well, let's go to Friday night. Unfortunately, some of the fields are not out, so I couldn't go over Gloucester Park, which I would have liked to, and in the Queensland, but we have to pick the only ones that are available. So Mildura in the afternoon. Well, this is my bet of the week. Yes, I have to pick a bet of the week. This is my bet of the week. Bernie Winkle wins number 40 at Mildura. I think this is a shoe-in here. I think Bernie Winkle should just rock up. But the stablemate Rick Riley will have something to say about it. If he can get the lead, then he becomes the main danger. But and Saffron Banner, his best form, would be a big chance here and could make it interesting early on. And in the race after that, race 6, I think the stablemate Aussie Daybreak is in career best form and could come over the top of them if these horses up front go early. But most of the big chances are off the second row as well, so needs Beach and Frank the Tank. But if he just follows them nicely, could come over the top and win. Bendigo on Friday night sees race 4. Kavaji, this is his chance to bounce back to winning form. It's not a strong field. He should really be winning this race, but this horse is a little up and down. But if he does everything right, should be winning. Major Mike looks the main danger. And the each way was hard to find each way, but I'm going for Dinah. 2 disappointing runs are late. Hopefully the horses are okay. They could run down the track again after its last 2 runs, as far as it is racing, but I'm expecting it to bounce back factor and could be the bolter you need. Let's go to Saturday afternoon. Yes, we're at Wyndham for the Forbury Park meeting in New Zealand, right down the deep south. I think there's a chance here for my best bet here, race 5. Jimmy Carter to bounce back after his gallop in the Bella Button race that we saw earlier on the show. I'd expect him to bounce back here, and Jimmy Carter should be too strong for this field, but the stablemates Our Golden Kenny and Majestic Love will make it interesting. Each way, Legend Made, I think even from the wide draw, should get into the race solidly and looks a good each way bet. Hunting Weight and Chimmy seem to be the major players, but their race is up for grabs. It's a lottery, to be honest, but I'm putting Legend Made in because I think it's got a chance to finally get a victory. Let's go to the big meeting at Redcliffe. To be honest, I could have probably picked about 3 or 4 possible best bets. And this race is probably not the total best bet of the day, but I just think you might get a little bit more value. Neptune, the former New Zealander, was very impressive at Albion Park, and if it handles this track, I think should be too good. Ultra Magician looks the main danger, should be leading early, but if Neptune gets into the race at the right time, I think you'll be looking at the Quinella. Neptune looks a good bet. I think Peaceful is another horse that you should be looking at, should lead and win. But the Gold Cup, I have to go for my each way in the big race. I had to pick some. It's a very, very even field, to be honest. But Hot and Treacherous, the former Kiwi, starting to find a bit of form. And I think the Sandy Start suits. And we've seen what Hot and Treacherous has done in New Zealand when out in front. If he gets the chance to get the lead, Hot and Treacherous is going to be tough to beat. But obviously, with Timsa Trooper and Loyalist off the front, if one of those two lead, well, especially if Tim Trooper leads, so I don't think the lead's going to be there for Hot and Treacherous. But if Hot and Treacherous gets in front of Timsa Trooper, that changes the race. And Better Sip It off the back row, that's going to be the only question mark, but he's definitely a chance. And Colt 31 was very good the other day, but I just don't think he's as good at Redcliffe. So that's the way the cookie crumbles there. Let's go to Melton. Yes, Melton. Best bet, race 5. He's a son of a gun. He's the class horse of this field. But Serge Blanco is going to make it interesting. So if he's son of a gun sits park, we've often seen he's battled. So he needs to lead to win. He's the son of a gun. So Serge Blanco couldn't make his chances to win the race. So it could be fireworks early, which would give the chance for Tango Tara and Torrid Saint to come right up from the back to get the victory. But if he's son of a gun lead, should be winning. My each way is Lottie Moon, even though it's a 2-place divvy. Very consistent, gets his chance to win, should be trailing Major Grace. But the interesting thing, the same way in Beach Life. They're the main dangers. And let's go to Menangle for Saturday night. Best bet, Cash and Flow. No form to recommend it, but this is the weakest field of this race this season. Should be getting his 27th win, the King of Menangle. But don't expect to be getting big money. $1.10 is about all you're going to get. And in the big race, the Golden Mile, even though Spirit of St. Louis looks tough to roll after a nail-biting finish with South Coast Arden last week, as we saw on the video. But I think South Coast Arden is the better horse. And I think if you get a little bit of odds, could be good. If you get $3 South Coast Arden, I think we'll get over the top. But Alta Orlando is going to be an interesting one here early, because if he crosses Spirit of St. Louis and South Coast Arden gets around, it's going to be fireworks early. So I'm expecting the Golden Mile to really be a Golden Mile. Should be an interesting one. Well, thank you for joining me here on the Barry Charles Harness. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll have this. We're going to have this every week to give you a bit of updates on harness racing all around the world. Well, in Australia and New Zealand. I hope you've really enjoyed it, and we'll see you at the next video. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel.